Checking out the Panzer Dragoon Switch remake today. I played it on the Switch, so that's the one I'm talking about specifically. The first question for me when I seen this was, do we even need a remake of this particular game? For me, the answer is yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt, we need a remake on it because I was a fan of the original, and it would be nice to see it with a minimum updated graphics and potentially updated controls. That was one thing that I had looked for were the updated controls. And the game does have a modern control scheme, definitely available, but I could not get used to it as much as I would prefer it. I couldn't get used to it. So the old school way of controlling this particular game works for me. Probably because you're not really doing much dodging of any kind of anything that's coming at you. Essentially, you're going to be shooting this stuff out of the air instead of trying to dodge it. Maybe that's why it works better for me. I don't know. I did have this game at launch, but I only played it shortly. And when I say shortly, I do mean maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. It really wasn't long, just long enough to turn it on, see the graphics, feel the controls, just for the moment. And then it went into my backlog. I haven't had time to play it since until now. So evidently, a patch came out along that time that I hadn't touched it and fixed a couple of different things or changed a couple of different things. But I really can't comment on that because I didn't play it enough in the beginning to really see or feel what's been changed. Um, I was a fan of the first Panzer Dragoon series and a fan of the Panzer Dragoon on the OG Xbox, which was great. I really enjoyed that one as well. And so, of course, I asked myself, is this game just like the OG? No. Or yes. Or the more important question is, does it give me the same excitement as the one found on the Sega and the Xbox? So meaning that if it's not exactly like the original, does it still give me the same excitement? It was nice to find out that key moments all remain in the game, same as the 1995 release. So this is great. Also, on a down note, I have to mention that the load times seem, to me at least, seem to be long. And when I say the load times, I mean all load times seem to be quite long. So if you're not not a fan of sitting there staring at the screen and waiting, this will definitely frustrate you, just like lots of other games without the solid state drives going on in the system to be able to utilize that speed. But also, speaking of speed, is the game short? Does it go by fast? Yes, it goes by very fast. It's 2 hours or less, and for some of it, it's closer to an hour. Really, it's not a 2 hour game. It is an on-rail shooter, and you take the time to control the character. The direction in which you're going to be going within the game is controlled by the game itself. You're good to go. You just have to watch out what's going on. Now, the game costs $24.99 on the eShop, and is it worth it? For me, as a fan of the original, for an individual who simply wanted to see what they did with this, was it true to the original, or did they make it different, or whatever the case may be? I wanted to know. So it was no problem for me to drop $24.99 on this. Now, if you're just a fan of shooters, shoot 'em ups, if you're interested, $24.99 may not be worth your investment because it is 2 hours or less. And once again, I'll stress, like I said, it's for some of us, it's closer to an hour than it is to 2 hours. So you may want to wait for a sale. Now, if you see it on sale for anything less than $24.99 and you've never played the game, I recommend highly that you try it out. And remember that it is 2 hours or less, more like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that, if you go right through it. But is it worth it? Yes. For those of us who have played the originals, most definitely it's well worth it. Now look at it. The graphics are not going to be something that blow your mind in comparison of what we deal with today. But in comparison to the original 1995 release, this looks great when we compare it to the old one. Absolutely. So once again, like I said, if you're a fan of the original or if you're a fan of old school shooters, $24.99, drop it, play it. Keep in mind that it's very short. If you're not a fan of those, but you want to try it out, maybe wait for a sale, simply because the time it takes to beat the game is not much, but the game is very fun. So there you go. Good luck. If you decide to buy it, have fun with it. If not, there you go.